Hey everyone, just wanted to pop in and do another class for you. So I also wanted, before we get started, I wanted to introduce my co-teacher here. This is the famous Casper. He has, I guess I can give you a nice close view. He has decided to be a good boy and, join us for yoga class. He probably won't contribute much. Hopefully he won't bark, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So anyway, Casper's going to join us and we'll get started. Sorry for my fumbling here. Oops. All right. So let's take a nice comfortable seat. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to start out lying down. So if you, Casper's moving on to my mat. So if you, I think we're going to do a lying down class. If you have something nearby you can use as a strap, that would be great. You can always pause this video if you need to get something. But in the meantime, I will assume you have something that you can use, or you are pausing me to get something. But let's do one thing first. If you are already seated, I'm going to ask you to stand up. And then have a seat. And then stand up again. And have a seat again. One more time, stand up. And have a seat again. Casper says, Mom, what are you doing? You've gone crazy. All right, so once you have come back down to the floor, again, have your strap nearby, but we're going to lie down. So go ahead and just stretch out, and if there's light in your eyes and you want to get rid of that, you probably could do that. Probably won't need too much light. We'll be doing familiar things, so you'll be able to follow along pretty well. And so once you do come down to the floor, moment to get comfortable. Bend your knees if you like. You could let your hands rest on your rib cage. You could bend your knees if you like. Another idea is to put one hand on your chest or on your heart and one hand lower on the belly. Just let your eyes close. Settle in to the here and now. Reach down into the center where the world is not spinning. And drink this holy peace. Those words by the poet Dana Fouts are so appropriate for right now. So I'm starting class with them. We'll start by using our senses to just notice our surroundings. Maybe there's something you can smell in your home. Maybe you cooked something. Notice the temperature, how the air feels on your skin. Notice any ambient noises. Just notice what's present outside your body. And then start to settle in. Notice the support of the ground beneath you. Notice the sensation of your clothing against your skin. Finally, let your awareness come to rest on the breath. And remember, if possible, breathe in and out through the nose. Casper has left us. If that doesn't feel comfortable, I know it's allergy season kicking into high gear now. You can breathe however you like. Just notice now the rest of your body. Take note also of the activity level of your mind without getting attached to any particular thoughts. Notice if your mind is busy today or relatively calm. And consider what you might want from your practice today. As I'm teaching, I am enjoying thinking about all of you and picturing all of you there in class when we're all together. So maybe you also would like to take a moment and do a little mental sweep of our room, our conference room at the hospital. Starting at one side. It's very convenient since we all tend to put ourselves in roughly the same physical space each week. So maybe just start at one side, the side over near that window. Think about the people who are usually there and let your imagination take you around our lovely semicircle of sweet souls. wishing each member of our class well. So let's start. You can leave your knees bent, or you can stretch your legs out straight. Let's float those arms up overhead toward the floor behind us. And then bring them back down. So each inhale lifts. And each exhale lowers. So again, no need to look at the screen unless you're confused about what I'm asking you to do. It's a lovely opportunity to just let your eyes stay closed and really experience the whole practice internally. And so as those arms come up overhead, the next time, let's clasp the hands, turn your palms toward the back of the room. Go ahead and stretch those legs out straight if you haven't already. Take one really big, deep breath. And exhale. Good, and then leaving those arms overhead, but relaxing or unclasping your hands. Stretch extra long through the right hand and the right heel. And then relax the right side. Stretch extra long through the left hand and the left heel. Casper's back. Now right hand, left heel, stretching apart. And left hand, right heel, stretching apart. Good. Both hands, both heels, get as long as you can. And then bend your knees, bring one at a time all the way into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Hug them in close if that feels good. And rock side to side if that feels good. Let's put one hand on each kneecap and guide the knees apart and together in a nice circular motion. Go the other way. Good, and then as the knees come back together, keep your right knee hugged in and stretch your left leg out long and straight. On your mat or on your floor, whatever surface you're on. You could even do this practice on a bed if that felt comfortable, although some of it might be a little tricky, I guess. Good, and then switch, stretch the right leg out, hug the left knee in. Then we'll briskly switch back and forth. If you wanted some extra challenge for your abdominal muscles, you could lift your head off of your mat a little bit or a lot. That may or may not feel good, so if it doesn't, just let your head be nice and relaxed. We're not looking to give anyone a headache or any neck strain. Good. So the next time that your right knee is hugged in, we'll pause there and bring the left foot down to your mat. Point the toes of the right foot. And then flex and point and flex. Really strong point and flex. Make some circles with that ankle. And then switch the direction of those circles. And then stretch that right foot up toward the ceiling. You can't see my foot right now, but that foot is flexed. I'm looking up at those toes. The toes are pulling down toward my face. Of course, it's fine to have some bend in that knee. It's fine to have your leg not perfectly vertical. It's fine to hold on to your leg. From here, let's slowly lower that right leg and draw that knee in again. Stretch that flexed foot up, float it down, draw in, stretch up, float it down. A few more times. And then eventually we'll cross that right ankle over that bent left knee. Perhaps we'll stay right here. Maybe that right knee can move forward in space. Maybe you want to bring that left knee in toward your chest, in which case you'll probably want to hold on to that leg in some fashion. You can hold on behind the thigh or the front of the shin. And just let your head be relaxed, your jaw, your eyes, everything relaxed. Just take a few easy moments for this hip stretch. And then bring that left foot down if it was up, uncross, and bring the left knee in. And we'll start pointing and flexing and pointing and flexing. Point, flex. Make some circles one way. stretch that left foot up toward your ceiling. And again, the toes are pulling down toward your face, so my foot is in that flexed position. And again, you can hold on to the back of the leg if that feels nice and supportive, or hold on anywhere, or not hold on at all. Just really focus on pulling those toes down toward your face. Ooh, if I pull down enough, I can just fit them into the frame of the video, just barely. And then we'll lower that left leg, draw that left knee in again, stretch up, float down, in, up, down. And then eventually we'll cross that left ankle over that bent right knee. So maybe that left knee can travel forward, maybe not. You see what works for you. And maybe that right knee can draw in toward your chest and you can hold on. And let your head relax. Just breathe. Go ahead, bring your knees to your chest and rock a little side to side. And from here, let's go ahead and grab your strap or belt or tie or whatever is going to serve as your strap today. If you don't have a strap or a belt or anything, it's fine to just do this without it. So if you have it, go ahead and put the strap around the ball of your foot and stretch it up. If you don't have anything, you can just imagine that you do. It's going to work pretty much the same. The strap helps a little bit, but don't worry if you don't have one. And so just pause here. The strap is helping to keep that foot in that extra flexed position. Remember my trick of reaching up high on the strap, grabbing on, and then letting your arms just sort of hang on the strap. And you'll feel the weight of your arms pulling down against the ball of your foot. From here, strap ends go into your right hand, and that right leg drifts out and back in, maybe a little across the midline, and back out again. And back, cross over. And in. A few more times at your own pace. Good, and then when that leg comes back in, let's bring the leg back to vertical. We're going to do something we did a few weeks ago when we were in the cafeteria conference room and we didn't have a lot of space. So we're going to keep that foot stretched up toward the ceiling. The foot is still flexed, but we're going to turn the toes in or toward the left, and then turn the toes out or toward the right. Turn in, turn out, turn in, turn out. Good, a few more times. So it's a little bit like a windshield wiper movement with your foot, where your heel stays basically stable in space and the forefoot swings one way and then the other. Good, and then let's bend that right knee and switch the strap or the imaginary strap to your left foot. Stretch that left foot up. Reach those hands up high. Grab on and then let your arms sort of hang there. Feel that nice stretch in the back of the calf. Maybe you'll feel it more in the back of the thigh, those hamstring muscles. Remember to let go of any tension in your neck and throat. So both ends of the strap now will go into your left hand, and we'll guide that left leg out and back in. And slightly across the midline, perhaps. Go out again. And back in. So your range of motion is up to you. You can go a little bit or a lot. Try to keep both sides of the pelvis stable on your mat the whole time. We really just want to isolate this movement into the leg and the hip joint without involving much movement anywhere else. And as that leg comes back up to vertical, we're going to again hold on to both ends of the strap. And just let that foot rotate. So it's still in the flexed position, as if you're balancing a tray on your foot. But we're going to rotate so that the toes angle in and the toes angle out. You may be feeling this in places that you didn't even know existed. Little muscle groups going, ooh, hello. And I think it was, I can't remember, I think it was maybe Jan who asked the question when we did this in class, whether the movement is just happening at the foot and ankle. And no, you're probably going to have the thigh, the whole leg kind of turning out and turning in to make this happen. And then go ahead and bend that left knee. Set your strap aside. Bring both knees to your chest. Hug them in close. Maybe your hips feel a little looser than they did at the very beginning of class. And so now let's roll to your right side. You could roll to the left if that's where the screen is that you're watching me on, and then of course just flip. But if you want to start on the side facing the screen to make it a little simpler, you could do that. But we've done this before. We're just going to stretch, reach that arm forward, bring it back and around. Good. So maybe that upper arm can graze your ear. And maybe that lower arm grazes your hip. Your fingertips can graze the floor in front of you. Remember, you can also let your rib cage roll back so that maybe your arms or your fingers can graze the floor behind you. It's not really changing anything in the shoulder too much. It's just coming into a little bit of a spinal twist. You can see how my that top side or my left side of my rib cage is sort of rolling back away from the camera. So if you want to introduce a twist, you can do that. Mostly, we just want to get that nice range of motion for the shoulder, and everyone's range of motion might be a little different. If yours looks more like this, that's fine. I've been lucky, my shoulders haven't suffered much in the way of injury so far. If your shoulders are a little fussier, don't worry about it. Just make the circles that you can make, and then go the other way. You can see I'm kind of grazing that wall here in my basement. And then eventually we'll let that arm come to rest, and we'll roll to the other side. So for me, it will be my left side. And I'm going to go ahead and face away from the camera, even though it's a little rude, because I want to show you that little twist. So as the arm sweeps, you want, you can let that shoulder and the rib cage drop toward the floor and then come around again. Good. So just keep making those nice circles with that top arm. Slow and steady. And then as your arm comes to rest, just relax. And then from here, let's make our way onto our bellies, if that's comfortable for you. If it's not, no worries. We will be moving on from here before too long, so you could just take a little pause. So coming down onto your belly, take just a moment, let your forehead rest on your stacked palms. And then just kind of keep your rib cage down and just kind of shimmy your hips back away from your rib cage a little bit, just making a little extra space between the rib cage and the pelvis. And then coming down, and go ahead and actually let's come up to Sphinx pose. So your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. I'm going to adjust mine, and I'm just going to take a moment to look up and down, back to center. My hair is crazy today. Look over one shoulder and the other. And look up, look down, back to center. Look over one shoulder and the other, and back to center. Good. So now coming down, you're going to put your palms right under your shoulders. So you can see my palms are right under my shoulders. And we're going to look straight ahead and then lengthen the back of your neck. And we're going to press through the palms and just lift up a little tiny bit. Lift your head, shoulders away from your mat, and then lower back down. So inhale, lift, exhale, lower. And this can be a very, very small movement if you like. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Following your breath. Just a little bit of strengthening for the back and the arms. So as you come back down the next time, let's go ahead and make our way onto our backs. Take your time, no hurry at all. Let's bring those knees to the chest one more time. So I'm going to offer you an option for Shavasana. So one option is to do what you normally do, maybe have your knees bent or stretch out straight. If you are near a more comfortable space for Shavasana, maybe you want to lie on your couch or a bed and enjoy the comfort of your home. Take advantage of that for Shavasana, go ahead. The other thing I'm going to suggest is that you might want to try doing legs up the wall. I think we have done this a couple of times, usually when we're on the second floor, in the second floor conference room, because you need some wall space. But how that looks, the easiest way to do legs up the wall, which is a really nice calming practice, is to sit, here's my wall, sit with one hip near your wall, and then you're going to just tilt onto your side, and you can actually just kind of lie down on your side, and then just lift those legs up. And you'll notice I've landed not too close to my wall. I've actually got a good bit of distance between my hips and the wall. So you can stay right here and have sort of an angled leg. Or if you want to be closer, you can kind of shimmy yourself forward, get your hips closer to the wall for a more vertical leg. But that's entirely up to you. And of course, you have the option to not do this at all. So you can try it, and if you don't like it, you can come back to a more traditional position for Shavasana. But if you do like it, you can just stay right where you are. Start to settle in. The other thing you could do, just another little minor modification, is you could bend your knees and put your feet on the wall. All right. So from here, let your eyes drift closed. Whether you are lying flat on your mat or in legs up the wall, let your eyes drift closed. And let your attention begin again to journey inward. You can notice your surroundings. And then let go of that and bring your attention to your inner landscape, to your breath. Just simply stay present with your breath. Feel yourself melting onto your mat. Feel the support of the ground beneath you, and know that for now at least there is absolutely nowhere to go and nothing to do. gently. Allow your awareness to return to your breath, your body, and the space around you. Invite small movements into your fingers and toes. When you're ready, bend your knees and roll to your right side. Gradually make your way back up to a seated position. Leaving your eyes closed, your focus turned inward, just checking in to notice how you're feeling at the end of your practice. And I'll leave you with this poem. This one's called First Light. At first light, I am received in love, as if the mystery waited patiently for my emergence out of sleep. For just a moment, there are no responsibilities to shoulder, just the soft and spreading glow of dawn, possibilities unfolding before me, like buds beneath the sun. And so we'll close our practice by joining our hands together in front of our hearts in a gesture of offering and of peace. And I do thank you so very much for sharing your practice with me, but especially with one another. Namaste. And so if you haven't already been aware, I have coaxed my co-teacher back into our little tiny yoga studio to say hello to everyone. So this is Mr. Casper. I was trying to keep him quiet during Shavasana. Anyway, he's doing a pretty good job keeping nice and calm for you, but he just wanted to make a little cameo appearance, and I do hope you all are doing well, and I do hope we'll be able to be together soon, but it looks like it might be a while, so as long as it makes sense to do so, I'll keep coming back and bringing you a class every week, and you'll eventually have a nice little collection of classes you can turn to if you like. So Casper and I say bye-bye for now, and I'll see you next week. Again, I'd love to hear from you by email if you have any greetings to offer.